They have seen also that interest rates have reduced. I heard the minority leader saying that the NDC government is doing nothing about the private sector. Doing nothing about the private sector? How true is that? Do you really understand the private sector? Do you really understand the private sector? You are champions of the private sector. Mr. Speaker, the champions of the private sector drove interest rates to 40% to an extent that the private sector could not borrow from our banks. That is the champions of the private sector. Since assuming office, interest rates have reduced. Inflation has reduced. The cedi has become stronger. The dollar has reduced. These are the things that the private sector is looking for. When the private sector is able to go to the bank and there's liquidity in the banks and they can borrow at lower interest rates and expand their businesses, they prefer microeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. The private sector prefers macroeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. So the era when every day the sector doing nothing about the private sector, how true is that? Do you really understand the private sector? Do you really understand the private sector? You are champions of the private sector. Mr. Speaker, the champions of the private sector drove interest rates to 40% to an extent that the private sector could not borrow from our banks. That is the champions of the private sector. Since assuming office, interest rates have reduced. Inflation has reduced. The cedi has become stronger. The dollar has reduced. These are the things that the private sector is looking for. When the private sector is able to go to the bank and there's liquidity in the banks and they can borrow at lower interest rates and expand their businesses, they prefer microeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. The private sector prefers macroeconomic stability as against tax exemptions. So the era when every day we were inundated in this house with applications for tax exemptions instead of focusing on driving interest rates down, on reducing inflation, on reducing the exchange rate so that businesses can thrive and create jobs for the people, those days are long gone. Mr. Speaker, in 6 months, barely 7 months, the private sector is becoming the real engine of growth. The real engine of growth. I listened to the minority leader. He asked about jobs. He asked, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? The jobs are occurring in the private sector. There's a lot of money in the banks chasing businesses. Just walk out and ask any banker. A lot of money in the banks chasing businesses. Do you know why? They are chasing businesses because government has stopped borrowing from the local banks. Indeed, I've just heard a colleague MP say that it's not just the private sector. Indeed, they are chasing MPs with loans. Mr. Speaker, so the economy is doing well. Growth has rebounded. Our fiscal deficit has reduced to 3.1% of GDP from 7.9 in 2024. Gross international reserves have increased to 11.12 billion US dollars, covering almost 5 months of imports. We have achieved a primary surplus for 2 consecutive quarters, $2.1 billion in Q1 2025, according to the Bank of Ghana. Debt to GDP ratio declined from 61.8% in December 2024 to 55% through active liability management. Ghana has been upgraded by the major credit ratings agencies. Fitch Ratings upgraded Ghana. Standard & Poor's Global Ratings have also revised their ratings on Ghana, and Ghana is looking very good to the international financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, there may be some challenges with revenue mobilization, but even then, the story is very good. In the first quarter of 2025, I think that they were able to rake in over 5 billion Ghana cedis. Efforts are being made to modernize our revenue collection agencies, and we believe that very soon we will begin to see real progress in that sector. Mr. Speaker, we will spend, but we will spend wisely. We will be spending over 28.7 billion on capital expenditure. Over 28.7 billion. In the 2024 budget, the NPP spent only 28.7 billion. But in our 2025 budget, we have allocated 32.9 billion to capital expenditure. So we will spend. Mr. Speaker, we are spending on all the social intervention programs, and we have increased them. Senior high school, well taken care of. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, there is innovation in social intervention. Under the NPP government, who claim they are private sector oriented, they spend mostly on public sector institutions. But this year, we are spending on 60 private senior high schools. So we're not only spending on government senior high schools, but we're also spending on some private senior high schools. So we are including the private sector, even in spending on social intervention. We have increased the allocation to LEAP. We have increased the capitation grant. We have increased almost every social intervention program. Mr. Speaker, we are strategic in our direction. We are going to focus on agricultural transformation. Indeed, we are already beginning to see progress in the agricultural sector. In the mid-year review, we are told that agriculture led in the growth figures of this half year. So clearly, we are making progress in the area of agriculture, and that is how we intend to drive down food inflation. Mr. Speaker, we are investing in the Development Bank, and the Development Bank has already announced a 500 million financial support program for the agricultural sector. Mr. Speaker, we're expanding the digital economy, and Mr. Speaker, our abolition of the obnoxious electronic levy has given confidence, and many more people are involved in electronic transactions. In April 2025 alone, mobile money transactions reached an all-time high of 351.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mobile money transactions in April alone reached an all-time high of 351.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, that is how much confidence Ghanaians now have, having abolished the electronic levy, and Ghanaians are using the electronic highway to transact their businesses. The number of transactions increased from 764 million transactions in March 2025 to 778 million transactions in April. That's just 1 month jump. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that the policy that we initiated and implemented in the abolition of the e-levy is indeed generating positive results. But Mr. Speaker, we are not yet out of the woods. We are not yet out of the woods. And so we will take constructive criticism. We need to continue the fiscal discipline. We need to spend, but spend in the right places. We need to fight corruption. We need to transform our governance. We need to create jobs for the youth. We need to invest more in agriculture. And I can see that when you read the new initiatives outlined by the Minister of Finance, these are the new focus areas. So we have launched the jobs for the youth. We have also launched and established the gold board, which is also having an impact in terms of the reduction in the dollar rate to the cedi. And all these interventions are generating positive results. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, this NDC government is a government that has kept every promise that we have made to Ghanaians so far. Mr. Speaker, we promised to establish a lean government, and we have established a lean government. We have appointed only 60 ministers of state and deputy ministers of state, because that was what we promised Ghanaians. We have abolished the development authorities, except the Northern Development Authority, which originally was what was agreed upon until the whole area became flooded with all sorts of development authorities. Mr. Speaker, the fight against corruption continues relentlessly. And the Attorney General and Minister of Justice is going to prosecute all those who are involved in corruption under the NPP administration. And we will not be deterred. We will not be deterred. Corruption has to be fought, because if we do not fight corruption, all the gains that we are registering will be lost in no time. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy, which is a key pillar in our economic strategy, will be rolled out very soon. And I have listened to the minority leader. He has provided some useful suggestions, and I can assure him that I have sat in cabinet, and many of the things that you have raised are indeed key considerations in implementing a 24-hour economy. You need an infrastructure base to support running an economy for 24 hours. Key among it is energy. So we are taking steps to boost our energy generation capacity in the country. We are taking steps to boost law enforcement capabilities so that people can work 24 hours without fear of crime and violence. Indeed, we are looking at the various possible economic nodes. So the northern sector will have a whole strategy that it will focus on. The Volta Basin will have a whole strategy that it will focus on. The coastal belt will have a whole strategy that it will focus on the cities and the rural areas and the mining sectors. Every sector of our economy has some strategy that we are focusing on as part of the 24-hour economy strategy. Very soon, we will bring the Directorate of the 24-hour economy to come and give us further briefings of the details of the rolling out of that program. So let me assure you that the 24-hour economy will be implemented, and it is going to be a game changer. Mr. Speaker, our economy is turning around. We are recovering. Inflation has come down. The cedi has rebounded. The dollar has reduced in value in relation to the cedi. Fiscal discipline is being adhered to. We are fighting corruption strenuously, and we are retooling our public sector to make it more efficient, more effective, and also less wasteful of public resources. The Minister for Finance, Honorable Ato Forson, needs to be commended highly for his leadership. He needs to be commended highly for his discipline. He needs to be commended highly for his wisdom. Mr. Speaker, in the past, we were told of some economic wizards being paired with certain candidates so that they will perform economic miracles. When those wizards assumed office, all the children in the village were crucified. Mr. Speaker, the economy was brought to a standstill. It collapsed. Ato Forson is not a vice president. Ato Forson is just one of us, a colleague member of parliament that we elevated to the Ministry of Finance. And within 7 months, he has done things that have never been seen in the history of the financial management of this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude on the note of Boku. Mr. Speaker, we are not running away from Boku. We, NDC government, we are not running away from Boku. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for those of you who have chosen to have a very short memory, Boku was a very peaceful place. From 1984 till 2001, when Kufuor took over as president. That is it. Those are the facts. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you don't know about Boku. Let me tell you about Boku. And you can go and check the records. If you want us to debate it, I can fix a date and we'll debate it and I'll give you the records. Mr. Speaker, the problem in Boku was caused under the NPP administration. Under the NPP administration. That is what happened. Once Akufo-Addo was president, he allowed somebody to be appointed as a rival chief in Boku, and that is the cause of the problem. And once Akufo-Addo was president, that rival chief was taken into Boku. That is the cause of the problem of Boku. And I am assuring you that President John Dramani Mahama will solve the Boku problem once and for all. Boku problem will be solved once and for all by John Dramani Mahama. We are not rushing. We are not rushing. We don't want to be populist. We have confidence in the Asantehene, and we leave the matter in his hands. And I can assure you that Boku will be solved. Mr. Speaker, on that note, let me thank our friends in the minority. Why am I thanking them? They stayed away from the presentation of the mid-year budget. But they have come to debate the mid-year budget. So I thank them. Let me thank the majority, because we have been steadfast with the Minister of Finance, supported him, implemented all his policies, enacted all the legislation that has enabled the positive gains that we are seeing in the economy to inure to the benefit of ordinary Ghanaians. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thank you very much.
Leader, 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 leader.